man lay flat on the ground for 48 hours, not daring to move even an inch, because right behind him was a 100-meter cliff. If he fell, he would be completely shattered. He dug his fingers tightly into the ground, but the sand was too loose to support his weight, and soon his body began sliding uncontrollably toward the edge. He waved his arms helplessly, but on the bare sandy slope, there was nothing to grab. In a critical moment, he desperately spread his legs and used his face as a brake, barely managing to stop. Just then, the phone in his backpack suddenly rang. His chance for rescue was right in front of him. He cautiously lifted his right hand, but before he could reach the phone, his body suddenly slipped downward. Terrified, he pressed his entire body tightly against the ground, trembling all over, yet he refused to give up this only chance to survive. After hesitating for a long time, he adjusted his breathing and carefully raised his left hand toward the backpack. Unexpectedly, the moment he touched the phone, his body lost balance and began sliding rapidly downward, about to be smashed apart. At the critical moment, he used all his strength to spread his arms and kicked upward with both feet, successfully grabbing the edge of the cliff and narrowly saving himself. But the bad news was that he had nowhere to go. In front of him was loose sand, and behind him was rock-hard stone. If he fell again, there would be no escape. He was extremely frightened. The double torment of body and mind had pushed his will to the brink of collapse. Suddenly, he began murmuring to himself. It turned out he was calculating the rhythm of the waves crashing against the rocks. After confirming it several times, he suddenly opened his eyes and decisively let go. He successfully fell into the sea. Although he wasn't instantly killed, the water was too shallow, and his hip slammed into the rocks, causing him to lose consciousness briefly. Thankfully, he soon woke up. Struggling to move his arms and legs, using the very last of his strength, he finally managed to surface. After escaping disaster, he had no time to celebrate. He crawled and scrambled to higher ground, lay on the reef and gasped for air. After a long while, the shaken man finally regained his composure. But at that moment, sharp pain shot through his palm. He then realized there was a 10-centimeter long cut on his right hand. The sight was so shocking that even he couldn't bear to look at it. But no matter how serious the injury was, he ultimately survived. After calming himself, he prepared to get up and leave. Unexpectedly, the moment he stepped forward with his left foot, he heard a cracking sound. Both legs instantly went numb, and everything went black as he collapsed to the ground. After an unknown amount of time, waves slapped against him, and he struggled to sit up. Severe pain surged through his waist. He hurriedly checked and discovered in horror that 2 deep gashes had appeared on his left hip. He immediately sensed something was terribly wrong. Trying to move, he found that his legs no longer obeyed him. It turned out that when he jumped from the cliff, his hip had shattered against the rocks, and even his feet were gradually losing feeling. Then only he remembered that he still had a phone. He hurriedly rummaged in his bag, but the phone had been soaked in seawater for too long and was completely ruined. He looked helplessly at the sky and began shouting for help, but this place was rarely visited. Aside from surfing enthusiasts like him, hardly anyone ever came here. After calling out for a long time, he had no choice but to give up. To prevent his wounds from worsening, he struggled to take off his t-shirt and roughly bandaged his hand, then looked around to find a way out. But escaping was no easy task. To the left was a wilderness of strange rock formations. To the right stood sheer vertical cliffs. Only on a small island in the distance was a beach. Swimming there might offer a slim chance of survival. After thinking for a moment, he decided to take one final gamble. He put on his backpack and painfully crawled into the water using his left hand. At first, he managed to swim past the reef area smoothly, no longer worrying about being smashed by rocks. But soon, his recklessness came at a heavy price. Swimming with just one arm placed unbearable strain on his already exhausted body. The moment he entered deeper water, sharp pain shot through his abdomen. In the blink of an eye, he sank beneath the surface. He had almost managed to escape.